So today I'm going to be talking with Maven, also known as Ryuk, also known as Mendex, also known as basically 5,000 other things, you know. I'm a man of many talents, you gotta respect it. A lot of competitive history in various different regions, has done a lot of community passion projects, you know, pretty good coding, programming, design, that sort of stuff. Even did some work for RGL for a bit, and I'll go ahead and let him take it off now.
Hi. Yeah, that's pretty much everything. Well, there's little things every once in a while, but yeah, I'm Maven. Hi, I was the head of the graphics team for RGL for a while, then later mostly known for the head of the video team. I did that for even longer. I have my own YouTube channel, Spy Main Person. Also done an NG and a Sniper season. Coding, I guess.
Okay, so what initially got you into competitive?
Stabby.
Oh.
I played Spy a lot in pubs. Well, okay, my entire TF2 career started back when I didn't have very good internet, so I just played against bots basically. I played against bots for like a good 100 hours at the very start, where it was just me against bots, and that was it. Eventually, obviously, I moved away from that. But then I discovered Stabby, and this was back when he was like actively uploading, and I was like, wow, this guy makes Spy seem really fun in a group of good players. And then I started playing it, and a couple other mistakes, and now here we are.
Okay, and what was your first season in the game?
Season 18, I played Iron.
Obese Cats?
Obese Cats, also known as Where's Dio. It was Where's Dio, and then later became Obese Cats.
I see. And what was that like, just starting out?
All of us were super new to the game. We did have we had a mentor, Inquisition from Impostors.
Ah, yes.
He was actually our team mentor back when he was still in Silver. And he watched over the team and told us we were bad. Actually, I have a really fun story for the end of the season.
Oh?
We made it to playoffs. We barely made it to playoffs. And on our first playoff game, we won the first half. And then our team leader went up to everybody in the halftime and went, "Okay, guys, be honest. Does anyone here want to keep playing?"
Based?
And nobody said anything. It was dead silent. And then we all disconnected and forfeit the game.
Quite the story there.
Yeah, it's one of the most memorable competitive stories I have out of all of my time. And it was my first season, so I started off strong there.
Okay, so did you do any what did you do back during the UGC days? Did you do any side passion projects relating to coding, programming, anything like that, or is that mostly an RGL era thing?
I would say it's more of an RGL era thing. I didn't know I was passionate about coding at the time. At least I hadn't become passionate about coding at the time.
How about sorry, carry on.
Yeah, that's basically it. I just didn't know I was passionate yet, and eventually I became passionate.
How about content creation, videos, editing, or even something like administration back then? Was that something you were into?
Administration I didn't care too much for. I did run a league for a little bit. The original Sevens League.
Oh yeah, all stock, right?
Yeah, the original Sevens League. This was before the famous one that got casted.
Oh.
Yeah, the famous one that got casted was a remake of the original. So that was my first foray into administration. It was just pugs and stuff at the time.
How was that though?
Oh, it was so much fun. Sevens is so much fun.
What
It's such a dumb thing, but doing sevens pugs is so stupid and it's so much fun.
what was your original motivation for doing it?
Uh so this was back, I think, the first time anyone had ever come up with the idea of like Highlander without a sniper. At least it's the first time I'd ever heard about it. So me and a friend of mine were just coming up with terrible ideas for how to change competitive TF2. Like, just terrible ideas. So I came up with this idea of TF2, but every weapon is banned, including hats.
Base.
Because hats can be distracting. You know, you can use your hats to throw people off. You can make your head big. You can have unusuals that could give you away. Like, that's bad. And we want you to have as many of each class as you want, you know, for maximum flexibility, like sixes, obviously, right? Except for medic, because it would be OP if you had more than one medic, unless you handicapped yourself. So if you had 4 or more pick classes, so spy or sniper, you could then have a second medic.
No way.
And that rule set ended up getting like refined down to what ended up becoming the original Sevens League. And then that eventually formed into the Discord League, which ran for a cup and then died because nobody felt like running it anymore.
Unfortunate. So,
It's super fun. It's super fun.
when was this, like, the original Sevens League that you did? Like, the pugs. When was that around?
Around my season in Silver? Here, I'm gonna load up my UGC page.
Would that be season 21 Settlers of Kanto NA Silver?
No.
Oh.
My second season was actually Silver, but it's not on my RGL. I mean, it's not on my UGC page. So my second season I played Silver, but the team died halfway through.
Oh. Okay.
So season 19 I played Silver. We won. We went like 2-3, and then the team died, and so they took it off the UGC page for some reason.
At least you didn't go Owen, huh?
We did not go Owen.
Better than Spoo.
But yeah, we did way worse than we expected, because on paper the team should have easily won. The issue is not a like. The issue is that we were only DM and that was it. We had zero coordination all the way through. Yeah, honestly, that's pretty much the whole thing, is that we just had no coordination. So we just weren't able to do literally anything. And then the team died, and then I came back the next season in Steel with SOK.
Ah, okay. So, would you say that, like, your decision to do this 07's League, like, or Pugs, do you think that was, like, fairly influential to the rest of your time as, like, a player in Team Fortress 2? Did that inspire you to do future community stuff of that sort? Like, the goofy stuff?
Not really. I don't know if that I would say specifically is an influence on it. I would say that is the first major example of me just doing bullshit and forcing people to go along with it. It's definitely the precursor to Modern Sevens and then like the Pug videos that later happened.
Right. So, what would you say the catalyst for that would be then? Like, what was the main inspiration of sorts?
Of 07s?
No, of, like, your future delves into, like, just the goofy sort of content.
Hey, wouldn't it be really funny if I convinced a bunch of people to do this?
A little trolling, if you will?
Basically, yeah.
Organized trolling.
And you know what? The answer was, it was really funny.
That's good, that's good.
It was really fun to get a bunch of people to play stock, full stock, by the way. Full stock, no hats, TF2, and we had to watch to make sure people were playing with the right things. we played on maps like we played on Harvest, 07s on Harvest. Well, this was back before it was 07s because it was just 7s at the time. We had to add the O because of Prolander.
Right.
Yeah, it's so fun.
Okay.
It went well. Just a bunch of people just doing stupid stuff and it being a good time. Semi-serious competitive.
So, were you much into like YouTube content creation back then?
I did have a YouTube channel back then. Here, I'm gonna load up my YouTube channel so I can get you exact dates. But I have been uploading videos for a long time now. I started uploading videos pretty much as soon as I started playing TF2, and there's not really any gap there. Of course, I've privated most of them now, just because they don't align with the type of content I'm trying to make. But like my first TF2 video was a Let's Play against bots, for example, because that was before I had enough internet in order to not play offline. So that was like 2016?
That's a decent bit ago now, yeah.
That was back 2015 or 2016 is when I started. I'm trying to get exact dates.
Okay.
But yeah, I had this idea I was going to be a YouTube celebrity, and oh boy, that never happened.
Hey, Ian, one of your videos has 15k views. That's not too shabby.
On my main channel?
On Maven, yeah.
Oh yeah, because it's not TF2 related.
Hey,
turns out that was the secret the whole time.
Your non-backstab mod, your no backstab mod examples has 12k though.
True. Okay, so it was April 25th, 2015. It is a Huntsman challenge versus bots. I went onto stock Viaduct versus like easy level bots or something, and I wanted to get 5,000 damage as a Huntsman sniper, and it took me 18 minutes.
Any percent speedrun. So, what was it like getting 15k views on a video?
That video is weird in the sense that it's just kind of like there was no point when I guess when you make a video you expect to have like that surge at the start and then people lose interest over time, basically. Right. This one never had that surge, and nobody ever lost interest.
And what sort of effect did that have on you, though, just like seeing that consistently rise up? Is there like a sense of pride in that? Is that something you'd be interested in like trying to follow up on in the future? Like, just how has that sort of influenced you going forward?
Well, the Jack and the Cuckoo Clock Heart video I do really like. I do think that's a very good video. There is technically a sequel to it. So that video is the first half of the movie. Basically what happened is I started watching this movie. I bought it for $1 at a dollar store. I got about halfway through the movie and I was like, I have to make a video about this. This is batshit. This movie is wild. I have to make a video on it. So I just started editing a video on it. Before I had finished watching the movie. Then I put out the video. And then I eventually finished watching the movie. And then I put out the rest of the video. The only reason there was a sequel is because of that continuous growth. I've been very tempted to make more. The issue is, I guess, lack of time. It doesn't seem like it's a very time-consuming type of video, because I'm essentially just watching the movie and then pointing stuff out. But I guess especially when I was learning how to edit, it was very time consuming because there's like a little bit of animation in there. There's a lot of jokes and gags that had to be scripted out. It was, I guess, my first major project.
So before that, right, you've done a lot of Team Fortress 2 editing, right?
Yeah.
So what sort of led you to start doing that? And like, do you have any interesting experiences with that? Like, how do people usually treat and receive you in the community regarding that?
Regarding that one weird video?
No, regarding you as an editor in the Team Fortress 2 community.
Oh, okay. That's kind of hard to answer because I don't know. I take the way I edit seriously. I take like the quote unquote science behind it, blah blah blah. I take that very seriously. I think the way you present things, the way you pace things, is important.
Right.
And I guess we'll get to that later. But I don't know if anyone else cares at all about that in my videos. Specifically, like the frag videos, I feel like I'm more meticulous about that than anyone that's ever gonna watch it.
Well, is that like the sort of thing that like other people would start like asking you to do for them? Though, like, that's kind of what I'm getting at. Like,
yeah. I have had, well, you for example,
right.
have asked me to make frag videos for you before.
2 or 3,
I've
in
had
fact.
other people. Yeah. I've had other people reach out to me. Obviously, I did a bunch of work for RGL. I'm the reason that video team exists at all.
We'll get back to that in a little bit.
But yeah, so I would say it is something that people have reached out to me for. Right now, actually, if you know the player Arcadia, mostly a Sixes meta.
I've heard of them. Yeah, they were doing like a map, like a region map, kind of.
Yeah, I'm editing his channel now as of yesterday. I'm his channel manager.
And is that something that feels like pretty fulfilling? Like, not necessarily just in that scenario, but just like kind of the career, the profession of editing, the hobby, I guess. Having people
really
sort of like seek you out.
I really enjoy it. I think it's nice to have my work appreciated, and I'm admittedly like this is like the most talk about myself I ever do, but like, I'm admittedly not the best at it. I don't very much enjoy compliments. About me specifically, I guess this is kind of delving into my anxieties, I guess, if that's okay.
Oh yeah, for sure. If you're comfortable about it, I do not mind at all.
Sure. I have a tendency that when people compliment me to just think they're lying and just being nice. Like they want something. I don't know if that's entirely true. I don't know if it's in fact most of the time probably not true. But it just, my brain immediately goes to, you're only saying that so I do something for you, basically. Which sucks. It's not a good feeling to immediately jump to, and I know it's illogical, and I know all of that nonsense, but it is still like the first thought that comes to my head. However, if somebody compliments something I made, that's different. Because something I made and put passion into and like cared about and like meticulously planned, if you compliment that, you are seeing the fruits of something I did and you're enjoying that.
Right.
Which is very different from directly complimenting me. I don't know, there's just a disconnect that makes it seem more genuine. So it just works better, I guess. I don't know.
Okay. And how long has that been something you've like had to deal with and experience?
A pretty long time. Probably since like high school.
Sorry to hear that.
I'm working on it.
That's good to hear. Is that something that's like impacted you a decent bit of the time in the community?
Potentially? I don't know.
And is it like sorry.
I mean, if you want to get philosophical, it could be why I keep making stuff instead of
I love philosophy.
Instead of just thinking that I'm enough, right?
Right.
Like, there's the philosophy of it all. Like, take the fruits of my labor, ignore me. There you go.
Huh. That's definitely an interesting one to hear, yeah. Is that like the sort of thing you've talked to people about in the community before?
Potentially. I don't remember everything I've told everyone.
That's fair. Noting this down. So anyways, okay. So what can we expect, like, from you as a content creator going forward? You're doing editing on Arcadia's channel, right? Do you have any plans for your own personal channel? Like, I see you're uploading all of your TF2 clips in order, yeah?
Yeah, I am right now. I don't plan to upload any more TF2 videos after this Friday.
How about non-TF2?
To my own personal channel. Non-TF2 is the goal. I want to focus my channel on non-TF2 stuff. So what I figured is I'm going to take every single TF2 clip and just upload them in order. And then I don't have any footage left to edit, and then I'm done, and I can delete it all.
Right. Are you gonna be, like, working on TF2 sort of things for Arcadia? Is that, like, non-TF2 for him?
It's TF2 related stuff for Arcadia, yeah.
But you don't mind if it's not on your personal channel?
Yeah, I mean, I don't plan to play the game. I
Right.
quit. I quit at the end of the previous season. I think it's the previous season now. I don't know.
And
but yeah, I've stepped back. I slowed down on playing even like further back than that. But like when I left the RGL video team, I pretty much just stopped playing TF2.
And is that something that you like want to talk about at all, or is that more something you just like don't really want to think back on?
I mean, I'm down to talk about it.
Okay.
There's nothing like traumatic happened. It was just I realized that well, my TF2 career as spy was arguably depressing.
Right.
Which we can get to that if we ever loop back or at least go forward in time, whatever. But
Time skip.
Yeah, we're kind of skipping around. But it's just along the lines of I realized that the only reason I opened the game anymore was for RGL content. I was working full time. It's about like an hour and a half of transit every day, just commute to work and back. So that's like 9.5 hours. And then also like basically a 40-hour work week added onto it because of RGL.
Right.
And the fact that I didn't play the game anymore. And like RGL is full volunteers, so it's not like I was getting paid for any of that, right?
Right.
It's just a lot of work, and it wasn't anything I felt like I was getting out of it, you know?
Do you regret it looking back?
No. I don't regret any of my time at RGL. I loved it there. It just came down to the fact that it was a lot of work on one person, and I had to start focusing on my mental health.
Right. That's very respectable, yeah. Sometimes you just gotta, like, look back and sort of just recenter on yourself, yeah. You should usually be the priority.
Yeah, I have no ill will there.
Right.
I feel like I did a lot of great work when I was at RGL and in charge of both their graphics team and their video team individually. There's some behind the scenes drama if we want to talk about that later. I don't care.
Yeah, that's like the sort of thing I'd get into later, yeah.
Yeah. I feel like I did a lot of good work. And I feel like I have completed that work.
Right.
And it was time to move on.
So, to get back to the earlier question, though, do you have any specific plans for like non-TF2 content on the channel? Any juicy details, sneak peeks?
I'm working on a video on the history of treadmills.
Yo, treadmill gaming? Could you do Zeppelins next?
I could.
Revive the Zeppelins!
So, the point of this video is that I'm going to do a deadpan delivery style video on the history of a thing, right? So in this case, treadmills. Except everything I'm saying is a lie.
Sounds like an evolution of your previous Team Fortress 2 antics. And
literally everything is a lie. It's like a 7-minute video. I'm currently animating it. Obviously not immediately at this point, but I'm about like a minute into the animation of it. And it is just a complete lie.
Is this idea a lie?
No. The idea is great.
I know, I'm just joking.
But like, if you want to know like the general style of the video, watch the Malifors video, the melody within Malifors, which is the previous video before the TF2 clips started getting all uploaded.
Right.
That one generally like the faux 3. Well, it's actually 3D, but everything is 2D style. That's what I'm going for.
I'll go ahead and demonstrate in the background. Sorry, as you're saying.
Okay. No, you're good.
Yeah, I'm just gonna like have it muted and like demonstrate the art.
Yeah.
Continue.
But yeah, it's I think it looks really cool. I think it is going to turn out really, really well.
And are you like feeling a bit better these days? Like,
I haven't been doing well the last few days, admittedly, but I think the stress of not having to constantly monitor the comments or worry about analytics or any of that is nice. I do kind of miss it though, because like nothing's going to beat the rush of a video you took 2 months on, uploading it and getting like 2,000 views in 3 days, right?
Right, like the RGL like user base, kind of like their audience rather.
Yeah. And that is like when I uploaded the Malifors video, after 2 days I had like 10 views. And that was kind of crushing, admittedly.
Right,
going
like
from 2,000 to 10 was a bit sad.
Right, like you're pouring all your passion out onto this thing.
Yeah. Because that Malifors video is probably about as much work as like one of the earlier Pug videos. Definitely not the last one. That last one is way too much, but like think of like the medieval one. I would compare it to like the medieval one. In terms of like effort I put into it, and then getting like a tiny fraction of the views is a bit disheartening. But it's just I gotta rebuild the audience and I have to grow.
Right. So you've done some passion projects on the side, kind of related to TF2 as well, right? Would you want to talk about those for a little bit?
There's quite a few.
Alright, let's go down the list.
So I guess let's start with Ryukbot. That's the one mostly known for.
Yeah.
So here, I'm gonna start with the name, because people question the name. So it's technically not a bot. It's technically not. The name is inaccurate. The original name came from when me and a friend of mine named Amadeus, we were playing at a game together, and he joined my game. He took off all of his hats, and then started spamming in the chat about how I was hacking, and how if he tried to kick me from the server, I would crash the game. So he would just spam in chat. He'd be like, "Get good, get Ryukbot," and talk about how much I was hacking. Meanwhile, I was sitting there missing every shot. Like I'm not a good sniper. I was missing like everything, and he was just spamming in chat about how I was hacking. So then I came up with the idea. This is in my early days of recording. Actually, like 2018 probably is when this happened.
Okay.
2017, 2018 is when that event happened. I later talked to him about it, and well, not about that, but I later talked to him about recording, and I was like, the most frustrating thing about recording is the fact that, like, even if you demo bookmark things, like PREC has that, and so does the in-game system. Back then it was just PREC. Like, even if you do that, like, you still have to open up Loena and find the clip, and that's annoying. Can you make a system that just automates that for me? Previously what I'd done is I'd used VDMs, where I would take that bookmark that I had and I would just manually make VDMs. Which, if you ever open up the demo UI feature, there's a little thing that says edit. And if you edit, that creates a VDM file. No idea what it stands for. I think it's like Valve Demo Manager or something. I have no idea. But it's essentially that, and all it's doing is just automating that, basically. It's turning the demo marking thing and just converting that directly into a VDM, and that's it. And he made the original version. He made it in, I think, C++ back then. He made it in like a day. He was like, here you go. That was easy. And then later, I had used that personally for a while. And then later, I was like, I wanna get into coding. I'm gonna try to learn Python. I think my first major project is going to be making Ryukbot. So I did. I remade it in Python, and that was my first major project. And then I think like 6 months later, I released it. So the actual release date is like 2 years after it was made. So I think it was released in like 2019 is when I actually told people about it. And I've just kind of like slowly been updating it over time. Like now it works with PREC and the inbuilt one. Now it like you can use it for STVs. You can make your own in the thing. Like it has a user interface kind of. Now you can like there's a modding system. So like each one of my classes has their demo bind different. So now every single one of my clips has a prefix at the end that tells me what class I was playing at the time. Like it's a very, very in-depth and powerful program, I think. But nobody else actually bothers dealing with those depths, but like it's a thing. And I think it's cool.
And what was the motivation to make it like so intricate again?
I wanted to know if I could.
Understandable. And do you think in reflection that you could?
I did.
Excellent. Love to hear it. And
that's about it. It was just like a challenging myself to do better.
Right. And how is the reception to Ryukbot? Like, has it been used? Is it kind of like popular these days?
Let's check the Discord.
I guess I can join and like showcase that a little bit as well, yeah.
Yeah, sure. There are 559 members.
Okay.
There's been more than that have downloaded it. What a lot of people do is they join, download, and then leave.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Which doesn't surprise me at all. The only reason I have it on Discord is so I can ping people when there's new updates, since Ryukbot doesn't use the internet at all. I gotta let people know there's updates somehow.
Right.
But yeah, that's pretty much it. I think it's pretty well enjoyed. I know a lot of people that really enjoy it. Like Shears TF is one of the major advocates. He made his own tutorial on it. He loved it. And then there's quite a lot of other people. Not everyone in here uses it. Not everyone here realistically cares too much, but I know a lot of people have very much enjoyed it. From all across the world. Like I've got quite a lot of users.
And
pretty cool.
Are you doing Ryukbot sponsorships? Can I get sponsored by Ryukbot? Like, what's the deal?
I make zero money off of it.
Understandable.
I had a Patreon. Like I have a Patreon technically. I have 0 supporters.
Unfortunate.
I think I've made maybe like $100 total off of it. Max. Probably $50 realistically. I had one person that was like a $1 donator and just stuck on for like a year, I think because he forgot.
Oh no.
I had the most I ever had was 3 and they were all like $1 donators. And then I had one person one time send me $15 on PayPal, and I had someone give me a hat on Steam, and that's about it. It's not a program that people actively donate to, nor do people care, I think. Like, it'd be cool. Like, I definitely appreciate it heavily when people give me stuff. It's not why I originally did it.
Right.
The only reason I made the Patreon in the first place is because people told me to make a Patreon. So and I made a Patreon and then nobody ever used it.
They're like, this is a great idea. Oh no, nobody's using this idea. How could
Yeah.
this be?
Oh no, nobody wants to give me money for something I put out for free.
Unforeseen
Like,
betrayal.
I don't know, man.
So what are some other projects you got into? You seem like very passionate about just like describing these projects, yeah.
Yeah, sure, I can tell you about TeamTrack.
Sure.
So, oh yeah, one second. So, TeamTrack, www.teamtrack.xyz. You have to include the www dot because I was too lazy to renew the SSL license for the other one.
Okay, and what can you tell us about this?
It is a TF2 tracking system. So you go onto it, you can see what stats you have, what stats other people have. Now, this doesn't. The idea was essentially that it would be kind of like a team-based tracking system. So you'd be able to track your own stats as well as those of other teams, and you'd be able to track them over time. So, here, I'm trying to... Here, I'll just go to your profile, and I can talk about that.
Yeah, I'm actually looking at that myself. I'm remembering that I use this site now, yeah.
So, yeah, basically the idea was you can break down match stats, scrim stats, all stats, and you can look at your stats over time as well as like on different classes, and you can just see how you've performed on all of your teams. And then if you want to, you can go to your team itself and you can see how your team has performed over time. So like if you look and you're like, wow, we are dying a lot to the spy, that's really bad. We should probably crack down on the spy. That type of thing. It's just a log aggregation.
Right.
And the data you would get out of that. But the idea is hopefully people would upload all of their logs. They would see their team grow over time. They'd be able to do judgments based off of that. The idea was you'd be able to like look at someone else's profile on here and be like, wow, this person looks really, really good. I'm gonna pick them up. Or I don't know, this person seems to die to spy pretty constantly. Or this person is a sniper magnet. Like that type of stuff.
Right.
I don't know, general use looking at things.
Right, like trying to help people be more objective, kind of. Less about just like...
Kind of, yeah.
Okay, yeah, like less circle tricky, more objective. And
basically.
How has that...
And then nobody ever used it.
Why do you think that is?
The main reason is the fact that it's not automated. The reason I don't automatically grab logs that just contain all the players is, one, it wouldn't tell me if it was a match or a scrim. And two, that basically it could allow for people to just spam logs. And I don't want that. I don't want meme logs to be on here. I want it to be a more serious thing where people are like, okay, yeah, I want my team's logs here. I want this log in here. And I want these stats up here. I don't want them to have like someone ages ago made a fake like a fake log of Galaxy suiciding 47 times. Like I don't want that on here, you know?
Yeah, 1,000 kill logs. No, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
That would ruin the stats. And the non-automated portion of it is why nobody cares.
I see. So, you've been maintaining it though since then?
Kind of. I have updated it a few times, but I've mostly just kept it up.
Yeah, I mean the site, and
yeah.
Is that something you still plan on doing going forward? Do you think like you're gonna try and like advertise it more? Like, what's your plan with it going forward?
I have been extrememely tempted to just shut it down.
Maybe this video will be like the last showcase of it in history.
Potentially. The issue is just that I don't think anyone cares. I don't think anyone's going to start using it. Every time I show it to someone, they're like, wow, this is amazing. I really like this. Why had I never heard of this before? And then they never use it again.
Did you try, like, I don't know, did any of the leagues show interest? Like, was this something you like, brought up with RGL during your time on board as a staff member?
Yeah, plenty of times.
And what did they do?
Like, this would be something that we could easily just like connect to RGL. Like people could just upload their match logs, and then I could connect it directly to their TeamTrack profile, right?
And it could really help
Like-
with RGL just to like be able to track some things. Yeah, like help estimate things.
Exactly, right?
Right.
It never happened.
Why do you think that is?
The main reason being the fact that Sigafoo was in Europe at the time and just wasn't caring. And by the time he came back to play a more active role in RGL, nobody cared about this anymore. It wasn't new anymore. Nobody cared.
That kind of sucks. That sounds like a pretty big mistake on RGL's part.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just like, it doesn't really seem like a sort of a thing with a downside, you know? It's just like, they can invest more resources in it to secure it against like any concerns they might have, and then it could be like a really useful resource for like these overworked RGL admins to be able to just like use to ease up the workload, right?
That's basically the idea.
Right.
You go on here, you can look at some stats. This is by far one of like the largest scope projects I've ever done for the community. In the sense, like the way the backend is organized, the way that the stats are handled in the database is extremely complicated. Because what it has to do is it uploads them to the team. Then it takes the team stats and it splits those up and it automatically connects them to the players. So everybody connected to that log automatically gets connected, even if they have a profile or not. That way, as soon as someone makes a profile, they already have stats there.
Right.
It was a lot of effort that went into this, and then nobody cared.
And did that end up influencing like your decision to end up like stepping down at all? Like, did it really just make you feel dejected?
Not at all, no.
Okay.
This was 2020 when I made this. I stepped down like late 2021, so like basically 2 years later.
But it's just like
1.5 years later.
It didn't really like play an influence in the long term though, like in your faith in RGL, like or anything like that.
No, not really.
Okay, that's interesting.
I think it would have been really nice to be able to have something like this, and I feel like if this was integrated more closely to RGL itself, people would care.
Right.
But nobody cares.
Why do you think nobody in RGL was like really caring or receptive to it after Sigafoo got back?
I just think everyone had forgotten. Like, I'd brought it up every once in a while. Constantly is a big fan of it. Constantly used it for a really long time, actually. I'm gonna load up his profile.
He's the HL head admin now.
Ooh. I didn't actually know that.
Yeah. Something I can talk about more later on.
But yeah, Constantly was like super interested in it, and his logs span all the way to March 18th of 2021.
Wow.
So he is by far the most active user that has ever used this platform. And that was pretty cool. The guy seemed pretty interested in helping out and continuing to grow the platform. It just, never happened.
Do you think there's any play for like TeamTrack in the future? Like maybe, for instance, with constantly being the HL head admin now, do you think it's something like if given the opportunity, you would have interest in kind of working with RGL on?
Potentially. I'd have to go back and re-maintain some stuff.
Right.
Because the code base has been untouched for basically 2 years. The most I'd done is I'd like gone through and I added a join the Discord button to it, which nobody ever presses.
You have a Discord for it?
Yeah, I do. If you go to the toolbar, there's a join the Discord button.
Yeah, let's see that.
Hey, joined.
I see deleted user.
Deleted user from 04/30/2021.
I'm gonna end up just joining so many random Discords as the result of the series. Wow.
Basically, yeah.
the lore archivist.
People had tried to tell me to put all of my projects in one Discord, so put the Ryukbot one and this one together. I decided against that because the Ryukbot one is one for every TF2 player. It's not explicit to competitive, and TeamTrack is very explicitly competitive. like it's for the competitive nerds that like to look at stats, right?
Have you thought about just like making maybe like a larger Maven Discord, like I know you have your own like personal like server with me and whatnot, but like just like that kind of combines all of your projects and just has them under like different channel categories and whatnot, like a more centralized place. And then maybe you could see like more cross-project interest or like people just generally interested in you as a content creator as well if you don't have a Discord for that purpose.
I have one for my YouTube channel. Of course, nothing much happens in it because my YouTube channel is very much like high effort, spaced out content, but still, it does exist. I could talk about Ryukbot and stuff on there, but we'll see how that goes. Hey, you joined.
I've joined all of them.
You have joined all of my Discords.
Okay. Yeah, so that's pretty interesting.
Yeah.
Do you have any other like major independent projects that you want to talk about?
Independent? No.
Okay.
Yeah.
Shall we move on to just like RGL then? Yeah.
Sure.
Okay, so let's start off with you transitioned over RGL, right? When did you start when did you apply to RGL? What was your motivation to, and how did that kind of start out?
I never applied to RGL.
Oh, did they reach
I never
out to
applied. Technically.
Wow.
So this is my favorite story. This is my favorite story by so much. So I had the idea to make a Recharge Gaming League merch shirt. I was the one who brought up Recharge Gaming League merch back in season 1 of RGL, right?
Right.
So I reached out to Sigafoo and I was like, "Hey, what font does RGL use?" And then Sigafoo sent it to me, and then later was like, "What? Why do you ask?" And I was like, "Oh, I was thinking of making like shirt designs and then like potentially pitching them." He was like, "Oh, okay, that's cool." And then later on the video team. But the shirt I made, I'm gonna go grab it. 1 second. I can send you a picture on my phone, but I don't have a webcam.
Yeah, go ahead and send me a picture on your phone. Actually, that's an interesting idea. I've like for these I've just like mostly done just like visual browser stuff, but I don't know, maybe it's just like cams at some point could be interesting, yeah.
Yeah. So the shirt is a Recharge Gaming League shirt. It's a super simple design. It's basically all white, but with like the Recharge Gaming League logo on it, right?
Right.
And then, but, the whole reason I asked for the font was not actually to make merch, right?
What was it for?
I'm gonna show you this. It was so I could make a Gaming League shirt. 1 second. I'm gonna take a picture of it real quick.
You might have to send me one of those. Gaming League.
So I made it. I put it up on like Redbubble, and I bought one, and then I took it down. But it's Gaming League. I just sent it to you in DMs. It's a bit of a scuffed photo, but
yeah. Are you selling those?
I could. I feel like I'd get copyrighted, but like.
How about donations then?
It's Gaming League. What was so funny is that after he invited me into like the graphics channel of the Discord, it was literally like 3 people at the time.
What do you think? Oh, sorry.
I was like, yeah. So I had already made some merch designs. Here's one of them. I actually ordered it for myself to test it out, and I sent myself. I sent everyone a picture of this design, and nobody mentioned the fact that it said Re. Not a single person mentioned it. It was so good.
So did any of these get shipped out then, or is that just kind of like a joke?
Just to me. Just to me. I'm the only one that has any in existence.
You should get me one. I demand it. So what do you think about that as a thumbnail, by the way?
That picture?
Yes.
Sure, I can take a better picture for you.
Yes. I need to be
I'll take a selfie later.
Gaming League. Sponsor of me.
Gaming
okay,
League.
So that's kind of how you got started with the graphics team, yeah?
Basically, yeah. I joined, and then eventually I invited a guy named Volans. And then when they did the big restructure to like actually solidify the team, essentially when they removed the Highlander Discord and just made it into one, Volans was given the head role basically, and then I would just kind of helped out, which Volans fully deserved it compared to me. Like I joined as a meme, right? Like, I joined as a joke. There is no reason I should have been involved. Then Volans got busy with work all the time, so I ended up taking leadership roles just when he wasn't able to. And eventually he left on his own. He left the team. I got burnt out and left.
Right.
And then he gave the position to me, which I fully did not earn it. There's RGL drama later down the line. We'll get there when it chronologically happens, but like, I think it's important to note that this is pure nepotism. Like, I got the role purely because I invited him to the team in the first place, and that is it.
Pass it to myself.
Essentially, yeah. He gave it to me for not because I was good at my job, but because I was there.
I see.
Okay.
So you said there was some drama down the line. Do you think we could kind of like chronologically progress towards that? You could tell some stories, yeah?
Sure. So after I became the head of the graphics team, well, I was really only the head for like a season and a half, basically. What is the little... Okay, so, sorry, I'm on the RGL website. This is a complete sidetrack. I'm on my profile. I see my name, right? Next to it is the little verified check mark. Yeah. What's the thing next to that?
Face it, like your face it ranking, kind of. Like, well, like, I think, anyways, like, it's like, it's like your face it, like, Prolander Pug's evaluation, right? I think something like that, yeah.
I forgot that they did the whole face it thing. I'm pretty sure that's still going on, but like...
I think so, but I don't think it really ever took off like that much. Like, I think it was like grinded by neats to begin with, but then I think it lost interest outside of them.
I don't know, man. Anyway, okay. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to look so I can get you like teams. I'm gonna look at like team histories.
Right. So what if I told you, as you were saying you were looking at your RGL profile, I was also looking at your RGL profile?
Oh, perfect.
No way. What a coincidence.
So, yeah, I'm just gonna load up some like logos that I've made that people would recognize.
Okay, yeah.
Back when I was in charge.
Sure. Yeah.
So
send it to me in DMs and I'll just like have them opened, yeah.
So I started in 6's season 3 was my first time, I think.
Oh yeah,
yeah, 6's season. Wait, how did I end up on Prolander? What?
Okay, yeah, I can just like look at this site then for that. You did it for Prolander as well?
No, that's why I'm so confused. How the website kicked me over to Prolander. That's what I was confused about.
Yeah, I think there are.
I'm fighting the website right now.
Oh yeah, no, I think that's something you can actually see in some of my other videos. Just like in the downtime when I'm just kind of like doing something in the background, like I'll just like try and tab over between like divs, not divs, like league tables, and then sometimes he'll just randomly bring you to different ones. I think that's something like going with RGL Site right now.
Basically, I was in charge when we started doing team logos. Well, Volans was technically in charge when they started, but I mean, I did a lot of the leadership duties,
right?
Because he was busy all the time. So I took over, I believe, the season after. So right now, I don't remember what season I'm looking at. I believe season 7 is the season where I was fully in charge. Because half of these logos are ones that I made. Specifically, Burger Squad, Cuties, and Memento Mori are ones that I specifically made. Well, Burger Squad was one that was basically given to me, and I had to edit to make it fit. But
right. And you said Memento Mori cuties as well.
Yeah, Memento Mori is the one that everyone seems to really like, though my personal favorite is Cuties.
Same. I gotta respect the cat.
I can send you the full images if you wanna pull them up in editing or something.
I already kind of have them open. Like I just right click to open them from a new tab tab.
Yeah, that would work. Yeah.
Well, discuss this down in the comments. Which one is best? Anyways.
Yeah, which one's better?
Continue.
But yeah. Then later, Rouse took over after that season. Rouse? I don't know how you pronounce it. I'm butchering that name. I feel bad because I think they're great, but it's RAOS.
Okay. And
later, Rouse took over because during season 7, well, okay, at the end of season 6, the video team was created. And that was also when Volans left. Volans left around shortly after the video teams was created. So I was put in charge of the video team, and then I was put in charge of the graphics team. So I had 2 different teams entirely under my control. And I was drowning. I was very much drowning. I'm pretty sure the only reason I got the video team in the first place is because I begged Exa for it. Like, it begged.
Promotion, please. Transfer me out of here. Anyways, as you were saying.
But yeah, I was drowning. I was trying to build a whole team from scratch. It had never existed before, so I was recruiting people. I was trying to build an upload schedule. I was coming up with all these ideas. I was building what is now known as the RGL YouTube channel, because previous to that, it had just been a VOD re-upload service, basically.
Right.
And I was the reason we ever started doing anything else. So I was making team logos, like the Memento Mori's, the Cuties one, like I was doing that. I was talking to team leaders to make sure they got their logos in. Like, here, I'm going to go to the Sixes side of things so I can pull up Sixes examples.
Okay, yeah, if you let me know which I can open those up.
Yeah. If you go to... trying to remember the season. I'm digging around. I led during season 3, but I didn't make any of those. Wow, this website is just kicking me around.
Yeah.
That's so weird. I'm trying to go to like one of the later seasons and it's kicking me over to Highlander.
Right, I was having the same exact issue like some of the time, and it's like random as well. It's not even all the time. Like, what's going on here, Jill? What's the problem here?
Okay, the most notable logo I ever made was Cat Posse in season 6. I think season 6. The most notable one was Cat Posse.
I see.
This was after I had stopped being the actual head, but I was still influential in the graphics team since Rouse was still taking over.
Right.
Which we'll get there. But yeah, so I was undoubtedly drowning. I had 0 graphic design experience at the time, to be completely honest. My first graphic design experience anything was the RGL t-shirt. And that was like with Sevens League, like hey, wouldn't it be funny? And then it just kind of kept happening, right? And they just kept giving me things, and I don't know why. And like, I guess the era can best be described as a lot of imposter syndrome. I mean, I would argue rightfully earned imposter syndrome, to the point where I don't know if it counts as imposter syndrome anymore, if it's just I straight up didn't belong to be there. But, you know, blah, blah, blah. So Eventually, Rouse reached out to a bunch of admins, and they eventually Banny and set up a meeting with Exa and me to complain about a bunch of problems that were happening in the graphics team. And there was a lot of mismanagement, admittedly. A lot of those were problems before I had taken over. Volans didn't really ever reach out to people. He would just kind of put in the graphic design, like the graphics channel, like, hey, we need this to get done, and would just expect people to get it done. That was a major issue that Volans had. And something that I admittedly continued, not purposefully, but yeah, is a thing I continued due to the fact that I had to manage 2 entire teams at once, and I just wasn't able to micromanage as much and keep things on task and continually help everybody get to their full potential and use everyone evenly. And Rouse felt like there was a lot of favoritism and stuff like that, which, I mean, realistically, with Volans, obviously there was, right? Like me.
Right.
Like, I'm a dumbass. And it, I stepped down during that meeting. I stepped down admittedly pretty early on. Like, early in the meeting, I was basically like, hey, you want it? Like, I don't have the time to manage 2 teams. I'm terrible at this job. Just take it, basically. And then we proceeded to have the next hour of... this isn't true, like a true way of phrasing it, but it's how it felt. It felt like I was just being bullied the whole time, which that's not what happened.
What made it feel that way?
Realistically, that's not what happened. Just the way that there was constant, it was a lot of, well, these people, there's a lot of talented people and you're not using them? I don't know why I'm doing the dumb voice. But there's a lot of talented people, you're not using them, people feel ignored. You are doing things that are making people feel bad and burning people out. You are causing these issues. And a lot of them, obviously I was, right? A lot of them stemmed from Volans. But like, yeah, I don't know. It felt really bad. It felt really bad going from like 6 months of constant imposter syndrome directly to someone confirming every bit of imposter syndrome I had. And that kind of sucked. Gonna be honest, kind of sucked.
I imagine.
It sucked to have that happen. I don't really know how else to put that other than it really sucked. Yeah. But eventually I stepped down. Rouse took over and did a fantastic job. But the drama that came out of this is the fact that Michael at the time was another RGL person. And also a good friend that I've known since Steel. Like, we both played Steel against each other. So we're good friends. We've known each other for a really long time. He was also part of RGL, and I came to him afterward being like, damn, I feel like Banny just bullied me out of RGL. And an exaggeration, an emotional exaggeration, admittedly. Like, I don't know. I'm doing a lot of backtracking here, but like,
It's
still, fine. I want to tell this story and keep the emotionalness of it, but also make sure that it's accurate.
Yeah, it's your story. Feel free to tell how you wanna.
Yeah, I'm doing a lot of and correcting myself.
No worries.
But yeah, eventually later during a forum event with Michael and Banny, about
No restriction
no
sixes?
restriction sixes. Yeah.
Oh, I do it.
Banny brought this story up. I mean, not Banny. Micah Lele brought this story up. Micah brought it up. And phrased it entirely as bullying a staff member out of leading the graphics team. Which, that's how I phrased it, so admittedly it's my fault. That eventually led to an argument in the RGL staff channel, and then me leaving the staff channel for like 2 days. Which potentially a bit of an overreaction, but like I just didn't want to hear it anymore. Because, yeah, like I was saying, that meeting was a reminder that everything that I had thought bad about myself was correct. And then Rouse going into the channel saying that I was doing a lot of defamation and lying about it really hurt. Like we've talked about it since, and I've also talked to Micah about it and being like, hey, like it wasn't actually bullying. I was feeling terrible at the time and I phrased it poorly. But like, yeah.
So you're responsible for Michael Lele and Banny going to war?
No, I'm not responsible for that at all. I'm responsible for the one comment that ended up getting a big thing from Rouse.
The greatest battle of the war.
Yeah.
I see. Yeah, I imagine that wouldn't be very comfortable for you.
No, it sucked. It really, really sucked. I don't know how to emphasize how terrible it felt.
Question. Did anybody at RGL, like, try and, like, reach out to you, support you, like, any of the staff members? Like, what was the community's reception to this, if, like, many people knew at all?
When people were arguing about it in the forums, or when I left the RGL?
Like, either or. Just, like, when, like, the initial bullying was happening, like, when all of this sort of stuff was happening.
I don't think anyone else thought of it as bullying. Like, the initial meeting, like, Exa was there, and I don't think anyone else thought of it as bullying.
Okay.
I did, because of my perception of hating myself turning into everything you've thought is accurate, but...
Right.
Like, I don't think anyone else took it as bullying.
How about, like, during the whole forums thing?
During the forums thing, when I left the RGL channel, I had a few people reach out to me.
Okay, that's good to hear.
Namely, like, Ad is fantastic. He was one of the first people. Mothership reached out. Quite a few people did. And, like, yeah, I love those guys. Those guys are great.
You love to hear it.
Especially, like, Ad. Like, shout out to Ad. Without Ad, I don't think I would have made it nearly as long at RGL. Ad and Exa. Those two saved my emotional for so long. And helped support me, and just great people to have around.
Glad to hear it, yeah.
But yeah, it was an emotional time. Yeah. Hilariously, Aggro from Kritzcast reached out to me shortly after I had left the RGL Discord. It was like, hey, you want a job?
And what happened from that?
I didn't take it. I was like, I didn't leave RGL, I just left the Discord for a little bit so I can calm down.
Okay.
And I eventually said that I would potentially make Kritzcast content. It never ended up happening. I just never ended up making it. And eventually I changed my name to Maven, and then Aggro hasn't talked to me since. Like, he just doesn't know that I'm the same person. But yeah, me and Aggro did a stream together. I was on Kritzcast. That's why on my Steam profile it says Kritzcast. It's a Kritzcast. Because I was on Kritzcast once.
So you played TFCL as well?
Yeah.
What was that like?
Okay, I'm gonna look at my profile here.
Yeah.
TFCL, okay. I do not remember ever playing TFCL.
Okay, fair enough.
I don't remember ever signing up, but I have a third place badge.
How about VanillaFortress then? That's South America, right? What got you into that?
Yeah.
How did that go?
You.
Understandable.
You got me into that. We played in Brazil for a while. I didn't understand what anyone was doing. I had 200 ping. I was playing Spy. Didn't know what I was doing. We got 3rd place out of 4.
Understandable. Okay. So yeah, let's talk about the video team. What was that like for you?
Stressful, but overall, I would say an enjoyable time. God, this podcast is going on for a while.
Yeah,
it's gonna keep going. We're gonna keep going.
Okay, you don't want to like
talk about.
You don't want to like stop it now. Okay, that's good.
No. There's so much to talk about.
Okay, I wasn't sure if you were like talking about that as in like it's time to stop it. All right, let's keep going.
Yeah, let's keep going.
Yeah.
Here I'm loading up the RGL YouTube channel to like
Yep.
look at the videos that I uploaded real quick because it's been a while.
Quite a bit.
So the videos I'm most known for are either the pug videos or the shit posts. It's arguable which one is worse. Potentially the pug videos, but like the 1 hour of nothing randomly interrupted by the spy.
Oh no!
2.6k views.
Wasn't there also like a marshmallow tier list? Like
yeah.
Oh, that's legendary. Legendary.
4 months ago, I made a video of me ranking every TF2 weapon based on how many marshmallows I think I could fit inside of it. It's 44 minutes long and has 1.4 thousand views.
Yeah. That's pretty good right there. What possibly gave you the creativity for this?
I don't remember what the original inspiration was, but like the basic idea was essentially along this. I'm gonna keep repeating myself along the lines of, "Hey, wouldn't it be really funny if I uploaded an hour of nothing to the RGL YouTube channel?"
It brought views and subs, right? Huh?
It did, right?
Genius.
That's the thing. The marshmallow video brought a lot of views to the channel. The decloak video brought a lot of views to the channel. Like, this stuff worked, right? And that's what's so funny about it, is this stuff had no reason to work.
What would win? A competitive match with a ton of casting time, editing, or marshmallow tier list?
Marshmallow tier list!
It's just the better play.
It's so funny.
Yeah.
Okay, here, I'll just kind of break down like each of like my major projects on the team. Does that work?
Yeah. No, it's wonderful. However you want to approach it is good with me.
So I first started out, like my first time as like full head. So like I had previously built up before that. But my first time as like full head of the team was season 8 of Highlander. It's when you notice the thumbnails kind of change a little bit. Which doesn't actually give it away.
No.
But season 8 of Highlander is when we started implementing stream highlights. The idea of these was, so you have the VOD, which those are like an hour long. Not everyone has time for that. Sometimes you just want to enjoy just the highlights of the game, right? So here is a stream highlights version of that. And now you can watch it on like your 15-minute break at work, right?
Right.
You can enjoy a whole Highlander game or a whole Sixes game while on your lunch break at work, whatever, right?
Right.
Super fun. I really enjoy them. I think they're great. I think that they are nice little itty bitsy summaries of the match. Nobody watched them. Nobody cared.
Unfortunate.
Yeah, nobody cared. The VODs get like double the views and are a quarter of the work.
Was it still something you enjoyed doing though? Like, was it something you just wanted to do for the sake of it? The highlights?
I thought it was good. I thought it was good content that people would enjoy. I personally liked making them. I didn't think they took too long. Other video team members didn't care for it. But I liked them. I thought they were good.
What was the video team like member-wise, then? You've talked about the graphics team in that sense for a bit.
It was bloated at times and too thin at others. Like bloated in the sense that there were times where we had like 10 members that straight up didn't do anything. Which is really frustrating and demotivating for everybody, but the whole idea was we had the main VODs, those would be like the meat of the channel basically. And then we would highlight it with, well, the VODs are, I guess, consistent view bringers. They are videos that we know people are going to watch. Like at least a couple hundred people are going to watch these. The issue with VODs is that since they are so consistent, they don't grow. They're consistent. One of the benefits and downsides of consistency is that they're consistent. They are the exact same every time, right?
Right, like you know what you're getting, kind of?
Yeah. Like the VODs themselves can change, but like when you upload them, you're gonna get the same amount of views, give or take, right?
Right.
Like a popular VOD is gonna get like 2,000, 1,500, right? A VOD nobody cares about is gonna get like 500 views. You know what you're gonna get. You know what you're gonna get from the outset, right?
Right.
Which is good, except it doesn't bring in new subscribers at all. You get the same people you've always had. So my job was to add to that and get more subscribers, basically, was to build on that basis of consistency that we had. So that started with the stream highlights. The idea was like bite-sized content so more people have access to the VODs. And then there was Dispatch, which is a project I'm really proud of in the long run. It ended up getting canceled.
Oh, why is that?
I'll talk about that towards the end. Because stream highlights also got canceled. So Dispatch was a project helmed by Kwikwe, who is now currently the head of the video team after I stepped down. But it's essentially a news series. It's like a couple minutes long. It talks about new rule changes, how the matches are going, who beat who, roster changes that happen throughout the season, different community events, that type of stuff.
Right. Just like things that are important to advertise.
Yeah, super cool stuff, I think.
Right.
It was a lot of work. It's a lot of work to be able to consistently put it out every week. Because the idea was there would be one every single Saturday. And it's a lot of work to put one out every single Saturday. It's like 8 hours of work a week.
Wow.
And that's like unpaid work, right?
8 hours, huh?
Because it's research, reaching out to teams, making sure that all the information's accurate, making the graphics, editing, like thumbnails. Look, they all have captions on them, like that type of stuff.
Right.
Like a lot of work goes into making these videos so streamlined. Because the only reason we're able to make them only a few minutes long is because they are meticulously scripted and edited to be that short. They're just a thing that you can just watch and then you know everything that's going on. It's a super effective way to get news across, and a super nice way to like keep people engaged in the Highlander and Sixes scene, as well as like Prolander and all that stuff. But again, it's a lot of work for 300 views.
Yeah.
It was our least watched series by a long shot, even less than stream highlights, which already nobody cared about.
How was the reception to stuff like the demo reviews with invite players?
Extremely positive. Extremely positive. People loved the demo reviews.
And what happened to those?
I left the team.
Huh. And so RGL just sort of like stopped taking the initiative and publishing these things that could like immensely help people understand.
I was the one that did all of the initiative.
Right, and like nobody just took on afterwards, huh? Okay.
I was the one that reached out to Rogue. I was the one that reached out to Soapy. I was the one that reached out to these people. I started all of this. And nobody took over. And that was it.
Do you feel like maybe that's a failure on RGL's part to just like keep those sort of community initiatives going?
Maybe. I tried to get other people to do demo reviews so then we could upload them more often because we'd have more footage to upload. And nobody took over. It's just the fact that everyone that could have was busy. Dave too. He was a Sixes admin. I don't know what he's doing now.
Dave things.
Yeah, Dave's great. I love Dave. I feel like I'm saying that a lot. But yeah, Dave's fantastic. And he was just too busy also being an admin. Like, he was able to throw in a few hours every once in a while making the highlight videos, which eventually became the archive videos in a different form. But he just wasn't able to actively sit down for an hour to record these demo reviews. Because the demo reviews, they're a lot of work. You sit down for an hour, you have to be able to actively engage and ask questions. You have to translate everything for newer audiences. There's so much that goes into this. And then yeah. It's a lot of work. Like, this stuff is a lot more work than people think it is. Each of the demo reviews has that little animated intro of my avatar popping in and saying hi and introducing everyone. Like, that alone is 30 minutes.
I see. And then you also, there was also, let me find it. There's, community guides published, right? Or at least a community guide.
Kind of, yeah. The first video that the video team ever did, back before we even were a video team, was a guide on how to record POV demos.
Oh no, I meant in specific just the ones from non-RGL people, for instance the Building Uber Optimally guide by Benji.
Oh yeah. We were reached out by Benji and he was like, hey, this is a video I feel like is it'd be cool if RGL people saw it. Go ahead, re-upload it. You can have all the views and stuff from it, whatever. And we were like, sure, we'll upload it. It seems like it'd be a useful beginner guide that RGL people would enjoy, so we just threw it up.
Right.
It was legitimately a fully Benji made the video entirely, and just handed it to us and told us to upload it. And I checked with a bunch of people, and they were like, sure, so I did it.
Is that something that's been attempted by other people, or is that just sort of an isolated incident?
It was originally going to be the start of we would start hosting and advertising other content creators. That was part of the idea, is hosting other content creators. So we would be a hub of the entire community, where not only we would have the VODs, but also we would have the best TF2 content competitively that you could get, that type of stuff.
And let me guess, you stepped down.
I stepped down, yeah.
I'm good at this game now. Wow.
To give you an accurate timeline of when I stepped down exactly, look at the release date for the Pro TF2 Players versus BLIMPS video, and just add 2 days.
Okay. Yeah, no, it seems to me like the sort of thing that RGL would benefit a lot from, even if not just for the sake of the views, for the sake of the community, maybe with guides on various topics that people struggle with, leadership, main calling, that sort of a thing. And I feel like it's a bit of a missed opportunity that RGL didn't continue what you sort of started. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I feel like it's very in line with RGL's goals.
Sorry. I agree. The issue is just that the video team right now is about 2-3 people.
Right.
It's almost non-existent. There is barely anyone there at all to do anything, and the people that are there are also working full time and have lives, and I put in an unhealthy amount of commitment to this, and that's why I had to step down.
Right, and there's just nobody else that can really fill the shoes for them.
Probably, yeah. I feel like I don't want to like overshoot my own involvement in this.
I don't think that's unfair to say it though. Like, so many of these initiatives, what it sounds like, were kind of just spearheaded by you on the channel.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, I don't know. This kind of goes back to like the intense amount of imposter syndrome I feel all the time.
No, that's
and, like the
definitely
anxiety
fair.
that I have. Like I like the work I did. Like I made a video showing the product map changes. I was eventually gonna make one for Steel, and then I just never did. Which I'm still mad at myself for because I really could have. I really could have just whipped that one out, and I just didn't. And like, I guess there's Dispatch, which is like not Dispatch. Gamesense, which is like probably my greatest failure on the entire team.
What happened with that?
Development hell.
Oh.
Is kind of the best way of putting it. So the idea of Gamesense was a highly edited documentary style overtaking of a specific small moment. So it was basically like, hey, we're gonna take a very tiny, specific part of a specific game, one moment where a team did very, very well, and we are going to deep dive into why this worked. And we're not going to do it like a sportscaster, we're going to do it like a documentary.
National Geographic.
Kind of. Like, I did interviews with players involved, I scripted out this whole thing, we had a voice actor, like, we did this whole thing, it was highly edited, super fancy stuff. And nobody could agree on it.
How so?
The main argument was, are we aiming purely for education or are we aiming for entertainment?
And what was your perspective?
It was kind of finding the balance there. I wanted it to be kind of somewhere in the middle. I wanted it to be, well, I guess like I've been saying, a stylized quick look at a specific thing.
Right.
So it would be like 4 minutes long, about a 30-second part of the game, right? We'd talk about the different elements, why it worked, and like what specifically happened that caused the team to win, basically. And that's what we did. But the way that people read it originally, when they watched the original cut, was just kind of along the lines of it came off as sniper down push.
I see.
Which I disagree with that take. I don't think that's not how I watched it. Obviously I helped script it, which, I'm biased in that front. But we ended up having to completely rewrite the script, completely re-edit it. I had to film a bunch more footage. I had to re-edit it. Well, I said re-edit it twice. I re-edited it 4 times. I want to point out that this video, like, the trailer came out over a year ago, and the teaser trailer was supposed to be about a week before the original was done, because I thought I was almost done with it. And then people argued about it, and people argued about it, and then people argued about it, and then people argued about it, and then it just gave up.
I see.
I was sick of having people argue about this, and I didn't want to deal with it anymore, so I stopped editing it. And I had lost my passion for the entirety of the project, and it was supposed to be a multi-episode series.
And there was no middle ground that you could reach, or authority you could use to just
I could have just uploaded it. I still have the original draft. I could just upload it. At this point I don't think anyone cares. But I thought it was a super interesting concept, and it's never going to get made. And that's why it's my greatest failure, is because it is something I put hours and hours and hours of work into and perfecting and getting it right, and nobody ever agreed it was right. And so it just never happened.
I see.
And so now all we have is a minute and 30-second long trailer that is, in my opinion, very well edited. You're welcome. And that's it. And we're never getting more.
And they still just have it up on the channel.
Yeah, the teaser's still there. It's got 1,500 views.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. That's all I got.
Okay.
It is an extremely disappointing project.
Yeah, definitely sounds like it. I think what you went wrong is that you didn't advertise it as a Townsy demo review, like average Townsy demo review. That's what you could have done differently, Maven.
Oh, you're right. You're right. I should have just put Townsy on there.
Yeah. That's all you needed to do, because it's like, then 30-second string into formats is pretty accurate. In fact, it's actually probably like a bit too fast-paced, It probably needs to be a bit slower than that, but then you could really get into the nitty-gritty of it, like a historical documentary, And that's where you went wrong. That's where RGL went wrong.
Clearly.
Okay. Yeah, it's definitely a lot.
You want to talk about the Pug videos now? Because that seems to be like the last major project.
Yeah, Pug videos.
Seems like the one that anyone cares about.
Let's cater to the audience then.
Okay. So, the Pug videos legitimately started as a, hey, wouldn't it be really funny if I got a bunch of invite players to play with moon gravity?
Right.
That was it. I needed a justification for that, though, because I can't just go up to a bunch of invite teams and be like, hey, you want to play with moon gravity?
So
then nobody would say yes, right?
Right.
So I came up with the idea of doing the funny pugs. So I got them all into a server. I made it RGL affiliated. I got everyone involved. I got them on there. And then, I calculated how much moon gravity was. I want to point that out.
Beast.
I did the math, so then the actual command that we used in that video was accurate to how moon gravity is compared to Earth gravity. But yeah, so we had them all in there. We had a really good time. A bunch of them streamed it, and I was able to edit all that content together and make arguably the worst pug video out of all of them. In fact, not even arguable. It's just the worst pug video out of all of them. It was a good it was a good proof of concept.
Right.
The issue is that it's like the first half of the video is really good, and then the second half of the video happens.
What happens?
I do a tier list of the classes and how they compare, and it's just really boring. There's a lot of jokes in there, but from the high action, fast paced gameplay of what had happened previously, it just doesn't compare in quality in terms of entertainment value.
I see.
But yeah, it wasn't able to keep up. Which I later fixed that in the second one, but the first episode is bad.
And
don't watch the first one.
What was the reception amongst the RGL staff to this? To the funny pugs?
Oh, universally loved. Everyone loved it.
Excellent. You'd love to hear.
Everybody loved the funny pugs. It is a just great concept.
And is it just
I love the funny pugs.
Is it just another case of there's nobody with enough time to take over it after you, even just not amongst the video team, on RGL as a whole?
I was the only one that ever put effort into this.
I see. That sounds like a really recurring theme, honestly.
Queequeg tried to run Six's pugs every once in a while, but Six's pugs just never started. Six's players just had literally no interest ever in doing any of these.
Six's players are not funny.
Well, the issue was that when we did these, when I set this up, I explained to every single person that playing that you need to take this as seriously as you can. Obviously, you don't have to play 100% meta. Don't. But I want you to play to win. Try hard. Use the fact that it's low gravity to your advantage. I play to win. Don't meme around and step on people's heads and Goomba all around. Play to win. Win the game. Right? treat this like a normal pug Discord, right? Like play to win, right? Have fun, but play to win.
Right, of course.
So I got all these people together, and they did exactly that. It went perfect. Like, I cannot emphasize how perfectly it went. Like, everyone hopped on. It was a super close game of everybody trying to figure out what's going on. Like, it turned into, like, heavy bombs, into, like, spies flying across the top of the maps. Demento dropping, like, a 40 bomb. Like, it was wild. It was great. It was so much fun to watch. I hopped in between Twitch channels, and I was supporting all the people streaming and giving out the stream to everybody I could, and it was so much fun in the moment and to edit, in my opinion.
Right.
It went really well. I would agree that same thing all the way through until, like, I guess maybe the last one I would say was not nearly as fun to edit, but we'll get there. But yeah, I think it's a super good video, and I'm quite proud of it.
Yeah, definitely sounds like you have some fond memories of it. So
Okay, well, the video is not good. Like it turns really bad halfway through, but like the first half is good. It's a really good time.
Right. So what were some of your experiences with like RGL staff members? Like, did you like end up interacting with like the Sixes teams or the Highlander teams or anything that much? Like, what was it sort of like behind the scenes, if you can say?
I barely ever interacted with anyone outside of like the graphics team. They were the main people I interacted with. Every once in a while, I'd interact with the Highlander or the Sixes team if I needed them to like reach out to the team leaders. Like when I started doing the pugs, I had them reach out to the team leaders and be like, "Hey, do you think your team would be interested in doing this and joining and being in the videos?" Like that type of thing. But it's like the large extent. Like reaching out to team leaders and being like, "Hey, do you have any roster changes for dispatch?" Like most of my interaction. I mostly interacted with Michael Ailey and Wilmatic. Michael Ailey because good friend, and Wilmatic because we were on the same team together.
Right. Okay. So, is there anything you think that RGL like really needs to do better going into the future, or like something you would just like to see them do?
I mean, I would like them to up their YouTube game again and focus on that, but like, I don't know how realistic that is, given how small the video team is.
Well, you know something RGL doesn't usually see though? Their video game. UGC, I don't know.
Yeah, they never really did anything video-wise, like, at all.
Yeah. So are there any sorts of like other things you really want to like get around to talking to, or like questions you'd like to ask and answer for yourself? I feel like I've gone most of the ones that I want to get out of the way.
I guess, here, I'm gonna keep talking about the pug videos, because I think there's more to talk about.
Be my guest. Sorry if I interrupted you earlier on it.
No, you're good. I'm just like, I talked tremendously about the first one.
Yeah, and I like wasn't sure whether you were like gonna transition to the next.
So the medieval mode one is the second one. Came out about a month later. This one it's just TF2, but I enabled medieval mode, and that's it. Also super fun. I played in this one. I was in this one. So this one is no longer invite players, it's invite and challenger. We opened it up because we couldn't get enough players. We couldn't get enough people that wanted to pug, so we opened it up to challenger as well. So I got to play. Me being challenger man.
Gaming.
I got to play, and the whole video is me shit talking myself. Like, the whole video is me shit talking myself. It's great.
Interesting play for sure.
Because throughout the whole video, like, it's me talking about medieval mode. There's a lot of good animation in it. And Yeah, there's a lot of good animation in it. It's like a really funny video. But throughout the video, I constantly talk about this one engineer that's feeding, and like this one Engie keeps dying in the background of like every clip that's shown, and I just shit talk this Engie the whole time. And then at the end, it turns out the Engie's me, and then the video just ends.
The imposter among us.
It's like, who is this engineer player? Oh, that's me. Got it.
Professional.
And then the video just ends. And it's like one of my favorite gags, just across the board. Is just me constantly talking bad about this one player, and then it's me. Great.
How could constantly be talking bad about a player?
Oh, I constantly in his shit talking.
Of course. Anyways, carry on.
Anyway, yeah. So it's just, I think this and I would say the Bind S video is my favorite personally. But I would say this is second or third.
Okay.
With the low grav one being last, obviously.
Major skill issue.
The Bind S one, which I guess I should point out that during the medieval one, I decided to start theming the videos for some reason. Like I had this theme in the medieval one, where it was all medieval-ish. Like it opened up with me talking about, I had read a medieval poem that was about the TF2, right?
Right.
And about the game specifically that one of the other staff members had written, and I read that in like a really shitty, on purpose British accent.
British.
It was great. And I did that. I made it look like an oil painting, and it was all like medieval themed. I used entirely like medieval style music. It was really good. I'm really proud of like that choice. So that one's medieval themed. And then the month after was October.
Spooky.
See where I'm getting at?
Yeah.
So at the beginning of October, I had tried to get people to do a Halloween pug. Like I tried to get people to pug on Halloween maps. Nobody showed up. I think we got like 6 people, and that was it. So I couldn't get anyone to show up to these. So eventually I just used the Bind S one, which we did Bind S after we did Medieval. So we did Medieval and then we went on to Bind S. And Bind S, I decided I wanted to go with a horror theme because obviously it was Halloween when it was uploaded. It was uploaded on December 30th, so the day before Halloween. Is when it like actually came out. And here, I'm gonna take a drink of water. My throat's getting sore after all this.
No worries.
So, came out the day before Halloween, so I wanted a horror theme. Except Bind S to Explode is not inherently horror. So I turned it into this existential nightmare where I made like a bunch of like fake deep, like I am 14 and this is deep type comments about binding S to explode.
Waxing poetic over here.
Like I went into like every single, I went through like the 7 stages of grief. Like I went through like the whole thing, and I showed Twitch clips of people like going through each of the stages of grief throughout the course of the entire thing. And this was another one that was a really short, like that was a really close game. So like this game lasted a really long time. And so you got people going through every single stage of grief. And like between each one, I would pause and I'd be like, and that's the real horror of it all. When the denial sets in. Like bullshit, basically. It's all bullshit, but it's really funny.
Right.
And I'm this is my favorite. Definitely. Because I just think it's just the best paced. It's the best joke wise. The fact that it's Halloween themed is great because it has nothing to do with Halloween. Like the opening joke is me going something along the lines of what is the scariest thing in TF2? Ghosts, goblins, all of that stuff, or not being able to press the S button.
Obvious answer there.
Obviously the ghosts, right? But nobody showed up to those, so we're doing the S button video. As the opening joke. It's just, hey, nobody showed up to the pugs. So here we are. So that video is the most viewed, I believe. That one has 2.6. The moon one has 2.3. The medieval one has 1.7. And then finally the blimp one has 2.3.
Zeppelin.
Which the blimp one, this one is balloon race. The only reason we did balloon race is because Dolphin, who I had previously done a demo review for, was like, "Hey, dude, I'll let you use my server, and I will invite as many people as I can find to your funny pugs, as long as we do balloon race." I was like, "Sure, I'll do balloon race." So we did balloon race, and we actually did balloon race before Bind S to Explode. But there was no way I was going to turn balloon race into horror. Like, what?
I don't know.
So I edited it much later, and this one took me the most amount of time out of all of them. It took me about 2 months to edit it. Because, like with the theming, this one, I go from 2D to 3D, where it's, instead of just like simple pixel art characters, I had drawn out cute little versions of each of the TF2 classes, and I animated them in a 3D space. This eventually led to the MaliForce video on my channel. Like, this is how I learned how to do that.
Right.
But yeah, it's a 2.5D video, so like everything's flat, but like there's depth there. So like it gets closer. Like when the camera zooms in and out, there's effects there. And that's like the general framing of this, is the fact that it's a live world. And this one, the original idea was that the previous one was about the 7 stages of grief, which technically denial isn't in there, so it's only 6 of them. But I couldn't find any clips of people denying that they had pressed S. But anyway.
Medic mains when they drop.
Anyway, the whole point was that it was supposed to be about nostalgia, and looking back on our past self and seeing it as something more than it originally was. Because, I mean, that's kind of like, Balloon Race is not a good map. Like, you can't really play well on it. It's very one-sided. As soon as one team gets ahead, they stay ahead, right? Especially in a casual setting. But people look back on it so fondly. They look back on the fun memories of them getting completely destroyed, right? So the whole idea was that it was supposed to be based around nostalgia and looking back on our past self. And that eventually just turned into Impostor Syndrome, which has been a theme throughout this whole thing. And that's kind of what the video is. It's me talking to, which you had mentioned that an alias I had gone by was Mendax, right?
Yes.
That is the character I'm talking to in BLIMPS, is the previous version of myself.
Creative.
Yeah, nobody liked it. So the video was me trying to make this video while I am constantly judging myself, constantly talking bad about myself, constantly insulting my own scripting, how I word things, how I just the different little details there, right?
Right.
All of those things. And meanwhile, I'm also desperately trying to make this an entertaining video while also constantly doubting myself. And it's quite literally that battle there. Like, it's not even subtext. Like, towards the end, the Mendax disappears, and I'm just alone talking to myself, right? It is cinematic and creative, and nobody liked it.
What do you think that is?
because nobody wanted to see two people talking to themselves, right? Like,
Okay, yeah.
like realistically, it wouldn't have worked no matter how I did it. It was originally based on Brain Dump, the YouTube channel, if you've ever seen that. Well, it's on the YouTube channel Hot Diggity Demon, but the series is Brain Dump. It's a really good show where it starts on topic and then constantly derails, and doesn't really ever loop back. But I wanted to like kind of stay on topic. It's based on that, but the pacing in the conversations is not good. Mendax, the character, is obnoxious, which he was intended to be. He was intended to be annoying, but he's. I guess that's just kind of accurate. Like, he's annoying, and I'm annoying, and the way I constantly shit talk myself is unhealthy, and it's not good for me, and it slows everything down, and it is in that video too. It's an unhealthy. It slows it down. It makes everything around it worse, and so it's just kind of accurate, right? I'm reading really deep into my own art, but like. This is the thought process that I went to when making this, and the last quote in the video is, "I can't do this. I can't do this anymore." And then I cut back to clips, and then the video ends with slow, super sad music, and eventually pans out to the background with nobody there. And then 2 days later, I left RGL.
So it's sort of like a thematic send-off for you.
Kind of. It wasn't really intended that way, but like when I was writing it, I wrote it 2 months prior to that. That ending was in stone 2 months prior. But the amount of effort that went into this, and then putting it out there, and nobody cared about any of this work I'd put into it, about like, oh hey, it's 3D now. Oh hey, there's cute little animated characters. Oh hey, there's all of this stuff. Like, I guess the pacing is probably the most important thing, and I really should have focused on that, but like, I don't know. It's a lot of my TF2 career has been thinking I'm not good enough and then being confirmed.
Do you feel like maybe it was ever a bit of like a self-fulfilling prophecy at all?
Maybe. In this case, I would say this is the most blatant example of that. But like in my attempt to be a spy, right? I got second place in advanced back when it was right below invite, and got last place every other season after that.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like maybe it could be one of those sorts of things where it's like, once you lose that initial confidence, like, it becomes really hard to just be able to perform as much as a player, like, especially on something like Spy, yeah.
Yeah. It's a lot of, which, I guess, famously, well, this isn't famous, but famously to me, Michael would review my demos every once in a while, and his main takeaway from every single one was, you need to grow some balls. Like, just get some confidence, dude. That was his takeaway, like, every single time. It was very funny that it was a recurring theme. But yeah. My presence on the YouTube channel still has a lasting legacy, obviously. My videos are the most viewed ones, and the policies I had put in place shortly before leaving are still in effect. Like, the fact that not every VOD is being uploaded to everybody, that's my idea. Which I know people don't like that. But me and Sigafoo came up with that, and the idea is we showcase the best the TF2 community has to offer. And that's it. We still offer everything. So like, if you're a YouTube member, we offer everything to you. You can still get every single VOD on the channel. But we want to offer the best the TF2 community has to offer. So if you come to TF2, you come to competitive, we want to show you only the best face we have. We're putting our best foot forward.
Right.
And if we are uploading 30-minute VODs of one team getting completely rolled, which we have done in the past,
that just makes TF2 as a whole look bad. So I wanted to make it as easy as possible for someone coming into competitive to find only the best stuff we offer. And the best stuff we offer was constantly previously getting drowned out by VODs. Like, there a month between Pug videos, right? So the medieval one and the S button video, I cannot keep both of those on my screen at the same time. I have to scroll to get between them.
Right.
Between them, there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 VODs. And about half of them don't even have 1,000 views.
And that's not that good for an entire league. No, that definitely makes sense, yeah.
Yeah. People argued me with it, in the sense that, like, now the content is harder, but, like, it's harder to access. But you can, like, go to the Twitch channel. Like, go to Twitch, if you want to see the other ones. Become a member. Like, there's a ton of options for you to... Well, not a ton, but, like, there are options for you to watch these if you want to watch them, right?
Right.
The thing is, right, like... continuing on that line of putting your best foot forward, and pushing that. Yeah.
Yeah, I respect
Basically.
it. I respect it, yeah.
And that's still a thing. Like, only our best VODs are up. Like, all of the VODs that are currently uploaded since I left, all have over 1,000 views. Every single one across the board has over 1,000 views because they're all VODs people care about.
Right. You know, I was kind of against that initially. Like, I believe we talked about that for a bit, and like,
yeah.
I want to say the Firepower Discord or so, but it kind of makes sense. Like, it's not really fair to the players either if you're just like showcasing them getting rolled, right? Like, you don't want to paint them in a particularly negative light.
Nobody wants to see a VOD of people getting rolled.
Right.
And now, another argument I had heard is that people are like, oh, you're only going to show VODs that people watch, so, like, you're only going to show Froyo. But, like, if Froyo rolls the other team, I'm not going to show it. Right?
Right.
It's a roll. It doesn't matter. I want to show the close matches. I want to show the games where it came down to, like, the last round. I want to show the difficult ones, right? Like, I want to show the ones where you are nail biting the whole time. Those are the ones I care about. The ones that you, like, look back on and you're like, I want to introduce TF2 to people with this VOD. And that's it. That's what I wanted to showcase. Not the ones where one team was clearly going to win from the beginning.
That makes sense, yeah. Okay. Do you have any other sorts of, like, things you want to go over?
Not a ton.
Okay.
I don't think I have anything. If you have any questions, I don't know if I collected questions from other people to ask. I don't know. But, like...
it's been pretty comprehensive, yeah. Okay. So, what do you think the future of the RGL YouTube channel and general Team Fortress 2 community and maybe just RGL as a league are? Like, where do they go from here?
I don't know. I love TF2. Like, it's a large part of my life. It's been a large part of my life for a long, long time, and I care about it a lot. And I think it's great. And I care about TF2. I care about the RGL YouTube channel. I care about all this stuff. And I really, really hope that it does well and takes off, and they're able to get the support that they need to actually make a channel that people actively return to every day and care about.
Right. So where do you go from here then? It's a
Probably just my own channel.
Okay.
The 2021 the last comprehensive clips video releases on Friday. I've been doing one a week, so one every Friday. The last one releases this Friday, so a few days from now, or whatever date it is for whenever this gets uploaded. I'm gonna look at the actual date because I'm kind of blanking on it right now.
It should be 1 day 5/6.
Yeah, May 6th.
Yeah.
It releases May 6th. And that'll be potentially my last TF2 video, at least on my main channel. And then I can delete all of the clips and I can go from there.
How does it feel? Does it feel kind of like liberating? Do you feel like you've gone closure on a lot of things?
I don't know.
That's fair.
I mean, it's I don't know.
It's okay to not know, yeah.
It's tough because TF2 was such a large part of my life, and almost all of my friends are TF2 related, and it's tough. It's tough leaving that behind, but I know that I like now that I work full time and I have that hour and a half of transit. It's not like I could play Highlander anyway, right? I don't have the time anymore. I show up after the scrims and like I would show up 4 matches. Like I could show up to 9:30s and that's it. Except for Sundays. I can't do Sundays or Saturdays. So I would just show up for match day, right? And like, that's not gonna work.
No. Okay.
Yeah, it's just it's a lot.
So, do you have any like shout outs, like staff members, community figures that you feel like are like doing a really good job of things, or like that could kind of be the hope of the game going forward, that could like kind of carry the community, so to say?
I'm disconnected from the community at this point. After I left RGL, I left the RGL Discord. I left pretty much every TF2 focused Discord, including the Firepow one, which I don't even know if Firepow ever noticed, realistically. I don't know. I left a lot of it behind.
Okay.
And yeah.
I do just have one last question for you then.
Go for it.
I actually meant to ask this one earlier, but I was just sort of wondering, like, you use invisible mode permanently on Discord, right?
Generally, yeah.
So, like, what's that like? Did people sort of, like, treat you differently, like, interact with you differently as a result of that? Nervous laughing?
Originally, I started doing it where I would go invisible and appear offline if I was just like sad and didn't want people to talk to me. And then I just kept being sad. And then I just kept being sad. And then I kept being sad. And then I kept being sad. And then I just never turned it off. That's
fair. So it kind of just like became routine, kind of?
Well, I just have never bothered turning it off. You switch it on once and then you're done.
Yeah, I've tried doing it a few times since, like, I'll normally go for, like, a few hours or a day, and then I'll, like, be like, I want to be social for a bit, right? So I'll switch it back on, but then it's like, I've lost my record! No! I gotta start all over again!
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. It's just interesting.
I genuinely... People have commented on the fact that I use invisible mode all the time, but, I guess it's kind of related. It's more about the me being sad part, but I genuinely don't know if anyone misses me at all in the community.
Do you feel like it just like had or has an effect on your interactions with others, though? Is it like anything along those lines?
In real life or online?
Online.
Well, I mean, you're in my friend Discord, and like, obviously I still care about the game, and I still talk to people about it every once in a while. I'm disconnected from the events, but, like, I do feel like because TF2 happened in my life, I'm, I'd say probably a better person. I'm better at online interactions. I can type a lot faster now.
Gaming.
Because I had to frantically type in order to not die in between. Or a thing I'm famous for is typing after literally everything.
I remember that.
Like that is a thing people complained about constantly.
But no, like, is it just like what I meant to say is like, do you think it significantly influences like how often other people kind of like approach you or interact with you online? Just like the usage of invis mode.
Potentially.
Okay. And then how about for real life friends and people? Is it like something they ever end up like picking up or like commenting about? Like
I tell people just to message me whenever and I'll get back to them.
I see.
Like most of the time I'm awake, right? Like if you're awake, I'm probably awake too, right? Just send me a message. Like I will reply eventually. I don't care how many messages you send. I will read it and I will reply.
Are you sure about that?
Yeah. Like seriously, you can too. Send me as much as you want. I will read it. I will reply.
Typing up 50 messages right now.
Go for it.
Go.
Have fun.
No, I'm kidding.
Like I enjoy double text me as much as you want. I like hearing people talk about stuff they're passionate about.
Hey, I'm kind of notorious for that. You know, the famous wall of text, of course.
So hey, anyone out there, send me a Discord message. I'll reply to you.
Yeah, talk.
Doesn't matter if I'm on invisible mode. Send me a message. I will reply when I wake up or when I'm available. Like I will reply. Just send me stuff. Ask me stuff.
Yeah, I think that should be about it. Unless there's anything you just want to go over real quick.
Not really.
Okay.
Not that I can think of.
Thank you so much for your time and all of the insight.
I'm glad I could help.